Mark Lewis with CS Action. Are you going to follow what Larimer and Jefferson counties are doing in terms of if someone forgets to check the checkbox, but they prove their intent by putting in the last 4 numbers of their social security number or their driver's license, to count that ballot, unlike Coffman is saying to do? And also, is El Paso County part of the lawsuit that was filed against Coffman?
Okay, 2-part question. The first part is somebody, and hopefully I've got it, if somebody fills out the last 4 digits of a social security number indicating that they want to vote but they didn't fill out some other part of the form, will you still count their ballot like they do in some other Colorado counties?
I can address that question in a couple of ways. First of all, First of all, what we're doing in El Paso County is exactly as we have been directed by the Secretary of State's office. If a person completes a voter registration form and they do not provide their driver's license number, and they do not provide a Department of Revenue ID number, nor do they check the box indicating that they don't have one of those, not just have one on their person at that moment, have never been issued one, but they do provide the last 4 digits of their social security number at a minimum, these people are registered as incomplete. This is the direction that the Secretary of State has provided to all counties, and this is the direction that we follow. A couple of things that I want to address in that same situation is that the Secretary of State's office sent out letters to all inactive registered voters because of the ID situation, and those letters have gone out to those voters. They went out 3 weeks ago at this point. We've received a lot of them back. But I think the most important piece of this is that a person who has an incomplete voter registration, they can go to their polling location, they can vote a provisional ballot, they can give us the missing information on that provisional ballot envelope, and their ballot will be counted, and their registration will be from the original date that they submitted their original registration form. The law allows for that. We've done that for years. We will continue to do that. So all they have to do is provide the information with a provisional ballot, and that they'll be registered, and that ballot will be counted, provided all that information is provided. I don't remember the second part of the question now.
Is El Paso County part of the lawsuit that was filed against Coffman over purging voter rolls?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Verlo, just common citizen. I came here with I guess a concern about who's considered eligible voters, and efforts that might have been made to disenfranchise voters. But my main concern came from a statement early on. I voted today, in early voting. I was not given any choice about a paper ballot, and I guess I thought I was an informed citizen. But when I asked about that, the only explanation given me was that there would be a paper receipt within the die-vote machine, and I'd be able to see it and confirm what I vote, the way I voted. But I was never given any option of a paper ballot. And is anybody given the instructions to be telling voters that they do have that option?
So the question is, if you are early voting, are you given an option whether you want to vote on the machine? And or can you vote with a paper ballot? And I guess it's a chicken and egg. How do you know that if the machine's been tampered with, that the quote thing that you're supposed to be seeing, which you'll never see again, inside the machine is actually counting the way you're supposed to do it? And I'm not a computer technician, but I'm fairly sure you could be seeing one thing and the machine scores it a different way.
I actually that as part of his question, but I'll address the question. A person who comes into our early voting locations are not given the option. We use exclusively here in El Paso County, as we've done for years, touchscreens. If you want to vote a paper ballot prior to Election Day, you vote by mail-in ballot. What I spoke to earlier was on Election Day, and when you go into your polling location, you are provided the choice of either a paper ballot or a touchscreen ballot. And again, I'll address the question of the fact that the law requires that with our voter verifiable paper audit trail on our touchscreens, if you choose to vote on the touchscreen, then you visually can see how that machine has cast your ballot.
Joe Barrera, the Black Latino Coalition. I just talked to a young man here a few minutes ago who said that he registered during one of these voter registration drives. He lives in Matthew Springs. He has not yet received his voter registration card. Okay? If he has not received his voter registration card by election day, he has the stub from the application, of course. Can he take that stub and vote with that stub? What is the procedure?
What is the procedure if you have not got your mail-in ballot to be able to voter registration card
Right.
to be able to vote on election day if it's in the mail but you haven't received it?
I do want to address the previous situation, and if I did misspoke, I apologize. The situation is this with your mail-in ballot. Your mail-in ballot has to be received in the clerk and recorder's office by 7 p.m. election night. Postmark does not count for a mail-in ballot. If a person registered through a voter registration drive and they have their receipt, the process is yes, they can come into the polling location on election day, and they'll have to surrender that receipt to one of the provisional ballot judges, and they'll be able to vote provisionally.